Alright, so at this point what we'll do is we're going to start drilling the 3/8 inch holes through the steel. Now this step, I'm setting up the drill press, so I brought my piece over to the drill press, is going to vary with your drill press. And that's because different drill presses have different range of travel. And so this particular one, I don't know what the overall is, but if I turn that baby down, you can see it goes almost all the way to the plate. And I don't have the stop set. So whatever that distance is, I'm going to say it's 4 inches. And I don't need to go all the way down to the plate. In fact, I'm going to stop it before it even gets there. Because all I really need to do is make it through the center section. There's probably a name for it in steelwork. The 2 inch, and then this bottom section here. So I'm only going to travel just about 2 1/4 inches. But it's a little hard if you don't have a drill press with a lot of travel. Then what you can do is you can set up your drill bit probably close to this right here, because most drill presses will have about a 2 inch travel. And then instead of being able to pull it out like that, you'll have to come in from the end and then go along. It's just a little bit more inconvenient, but not a big deal. So I'm able to instead to set it up so that it's clear. And then again, I want that bit to stop when it gets through just that portion right there. I want to come all the way through. And then so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to set my stop there. Come on. There. Now it'll just automatically stop for me. Don't have to worry about it. The other part of setting up the drill press, again, that's a 3/8 inch bit, and is to basically, I set up a fence. I think I had used this fence just a little while ago, so it's all set up. But all I did is took another piece of the channel, and then I just put that up there, and that's my fence. Because the really nice thing about that is then you can put just a regular 4 inch Bessie clamp over here and over here, lock them down to that, and then those clamps are not in the way. So now I can send this guy over there. And I'm just going to do a test first, and just to see where it ends up as far as center goes. It's looking pretty good. I'd moved the fence a couple times just to get it, tweak it. And there's other ways to do this, but it's close enough. Yep. So I'm right at basically the halfway point. I'm right down in here, and that's where I want to be. So now the fence is all set up. And again, I'm going to start with just those 3 holes that involve the bolts. And then we're going to take a break and bolt them together. Then we'll come back to the drill press and drill all the rest of the holes. So the first one is in the middle. Noticed I went through the steel, then I got into the wood. Now I'm back into the steel again, or close to it. One down, 2 to go. So those of you that film and do these kinds of things, you know that it can be pretty difficult at times to both film and do the actual work. So you may have noticed some goofy stuff went on, but anyhow, got it all figured out. Now I'm back to drilling. Two down out of 3, so 1 to go. And again, you can see how nice these Bessie clamps are working in combination with the channel. Is that they're not, I can slide this thing over and the clamp is not hitting the table. It was just kind of a coincidence, but I'm really glad it worked out that way. So that's the third out of the 3 holes. And again, there's a lot more marks in there, but we're not going to use them right now. Instead, you're going to see how much nicer this is that once we bolt it together, then we can get rid of the clamps. I'm still constantly trying to improve these things. These are a work in progress, but most of it's down pat. But I'm realizing that these would be much better as hex, because then I can use the impact to get a lot more power to bring those all these 3 pieces together. Whereas with an Allen, you know, you're basically doing it by hand. And so I'm going to pull that Allen out, and then I'm going to replace it with the same size, the 3-inch hex bolts. All right, much better. Now I've got the hex in there, so I'm putting the ratch or the impact on there, and then I could have a other kind of wrench, but basically there's so much more torque on those. So now that they're bolted together, now I can get rid of the clamps, right? There you can see it's going to be nice now without the bolts. Without the clamps. We don't have to deal with those at all. So now it's just going to be continuing to drill the same holes, same bit, same location, same fence, everything else. We're just going to drill all those holes, and those are, again, all the rest of the holes now are going to be for the optional different methods for mounting to the different devices. It was getting a little unwieldy, even though it's a 30-incher, it was getting a little unwieldy, so you can see how that's going to really help out, support that. So that was the last hole, and again, those are all the mounting options. So just again, 8-inch on center, that'll give us both Festool and Kreg tables to go into the dog holes, right? The next ones are 16-inch on center, and those will fit the Kreg dog holes, but not the Festool. And the reason they don't fit Festool is because Festool is metric, and there's just that little add-on difference. So if you have a bunch of Festool, then instead of using 16, go to whatever that turns out in metric for Festool. And just make that tweak, right? And then the ones that are just a little bit further out here, those are the 17 1/4, and those are going to be for the red, mine are red table or rolling carts, the tool carts. They fit right into the bolt holes that came with that when you initially assembled it. And then there's 2 of them that are really far apart, the farthest apart. Those are 27 1/2, and those are all set for the Baker Style Scaffolding, like I have there at the end. Other than that, that drilling of all the 3/8-inch holes is all done.